Yeah, I'll let her rip a little bit here. Start off in first gear. Hi everybody, Jim from County Corvette here. It is November 7th, the day before Election Day, incidentally. And here we are in Pennsylvania, and it's like 72 degrees. And it's really a cool day for that, and the fact that I have this 69 Camaro here. This is a 69 RS convertible. Now, the cool thing about this car is I had almost exactly this car when I was 16. I actually got it when I was 15 out of a junkyard. And I hope Evan here can flash some pictures of that car. I still have a photo album on it. Anyway, it brings back a lot of great memories. Mine was an SS and Daytona yellow, white interior, and a black top, which I put a white top on it. I did the white top, I did quarter panels. I did a lot of work on that car when I was a kid. I didn't do it right because I ended up wrecking the car, but I'll tell that story for another day. Maybe on my test drive I'll talk about it, but really brings back memories. And it was kind of autumn when I was working on that car and getting it on the road and all that, junior in high school, and just great memories. Anyway, so back to this car. So this car is a restored, but a really nice, authentic 69 Rally Sport. It is a 350 two-barrel car. I have the original intake, and they did deliver them that way. You could get the two-barrel with the automatic turbo hydromatic 350, and that's what this came with. Now, this car had been restored back, I don't know, maybe 15 or so years ago, repainted and all that. It was a nice original car, two-owner car. I have a really good history on it. And then the subsequent owner did a lot of stuff to it. Now, I have an appraisal sheet talking about the authenticity of this car. There's an original numbers matching engine. And then when I went to inspect it, there's no engine stamp. Now, I know some of these had stamps elsewhere, but I couldn't find it. And I believe this thing got decked because there was an engine rebuild by a machine shop, and it showed a very complete, basic remanufacture of this engine. So I believe the original numbers were resurfaced off of the block, and sadly that affects value. And it is a cool original car, but it's going to be priced less than had it been original. It's kind of set up as a driver, radials. It's got two sets of wheels and tires, but it's set up as a driver. It's got a sound system in it. The prior owner, he actually did a lot to the car. He had the interior redone, had been the original interior even after the restoration, but really, was fastidious with his ownership of the car. Spent a lot of money on it. It's a power top car, and all this stuff works. We ran the car through our shop, and really a good, nice, well done car. So for what we're asking for this thing, I'd say it's a lot of bang for the buck. Now I know it had like partial quarter panels and door skins, but I believe the rest of the body was original. Didn't appear to be a rotted out piece of crap like the one I owned when I was 15 and 16. And I bought that out of a junkyard out of Philadelphia. But this was a nice original car. Even the nicest and cleanest of cars, the Camaro convertibles, they're going to have rust down on the bottom, just by getting just driving in the rain a few times. So that's pretty common. But generally speaking, it was from what I can gather, a really nice, well-loved original car prior to it being restored. It's well done, base coat, clear coat, very high quality job. It has that Enduro front bumper on it. There was one chip on there. We mixed up some paint, touched it up with a brush. We're going to take this thing out for a ride now, and couldn't think of a better weather to ask for a test drive on a car like this. But let's get this thing out, see what it does. We've got a lot of pictures of it, and I've got a lot of receipts, and it's a lot of bang for the buck. You couldn't do a partial restoration just for the asking price, and everything on here is done really well. So great car for the value. If you like the combination, it's a lot of car for the money. All right, let's take it out. Okay, we get this thing started. Now I have the radio on, which, as I said, this thing has a sound system. At first glance, it's the stock appearing AM radio, but then when you realize there's no rheostat switch, and you'd have to know what I told you, it presses on, and you've got a modern sound system. But we're going to leave that off for now. I didn't mention this has the deluxe interior, and you know, all the codes check out on this car. As I said, it was a pretty authentic car to start with. My God, this brings back memories. My car was a 4-speed, but this one's an automatic. Anymore, automatics are more desirable than 4-speed cars, and you know, that's what it is. So that's pretty cool. Car's showing 96,000 miles. The odometer does work. It's got a nice sound to it too. This car has Flowmasters on it. It's really correct underneath too. It's a nice shape. Like I said, we've got a lot of undercar photos here, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. It's a little on the loud side. That's what you get when you do Flowmasters, so take note of it. Could be a little too loud for some people. It's not horrible. Depends on what you want to do, but you could throw a stock exhaust on. It's not going to run as well. Flowmasters obviously flow better. It's a smooth driving car though, feels good. Yeah, so a couple more things to mention. This is a power steering, power brake car. Very easy and comfortable to drive. Really simple, effortless car to drive. This thing also has all 4 dampers in the corners. If you didn't know, these things have harmonic oil-filled dampeners in every corner, which is they actually work really well, because I've had them with and without, and they make a big difference in the overall integrity of the car's drivability. It makes it a little bit better, well, quieter. But it just really removes vibrations. It's really an amazing thing. And they're heavy buggers. I mean, they're probably 40, 50 pounds each. And a lot of people just took them off and figured, what the hell is this boat anchor? And chucked them, you know, immediately. Because, you know, yeah, it's something that adds weight. And, you know, back in the 60s and the 70s, if it was heavy and could be unbolted, you took it off and got rid of it. Smog pumps, these harmonic balancer cans, you know, all that stuff. So it's, you know, it just, when you see that, it just shows that the car was, you know, owned by, you know, a responsible adult who, you know, wasn't looking for quarter-mile, you know, time improvement. It just, you know, it was a car, and they, you know, drove it as a car. You know, a non-car person would have left them alone, or an engineer, you know, that type. So anyway, just noteworthy stuff that when I see it, it lends to the credibility of the car. And this one has that, you know, that level of credibility. So I like the car. I really like it a lot. And again, I'm biased. It brings back memories of cute girlfriends and stuff like that. Lots of good times. But you know, it is an iconic car, and this is a good one. It's not the fastest thing out there, and I'll let her rip a little bit here. Start off in first gear. sadly, this Yukon XL was blocking me, but you know, the car runs out good. It is the lower horsepower engine, you know, it still has a nodular steel crank and all that stuff, so we're not going to try to get it to 7,000 RPM, but no, it runs nice. And this thing really, you know, there's a few potholes that are filled on this stretch of highway, and this thing goes over them nicely, man. It's just a nice smooth car. So now, if you don't buy this one, you know, and you're out there looking, look for those harmonic dampers, and it really makes a big difference in how these cars drive. That's my tip for the day. The other tip is I'm going to talk about my 69. So mine got totaled. I had been doing a brake job on the front, and I let the calipers hang by the hoses, and one of the hoses blew out while I was driving, and I damn near got killed in it. I got hit right in the driver's door. I was probably doing 40 plus miles an hour when he hit me on the you know, small highway, and walked away from it, knocked the wind out of me, hit me right in the ribs. I don't know if I could take that hit again today. It's probably like getting hit by the biggest of the baddest NFL linemen without any pads, right in the ribs. I was pliable back then. I could take a hit. But be that as it may, I'm curious if you viewers out there have any other stories. I'm going to try to get Evan, to my videographer here, to you know, show my car and the carnage and all that. I'm curious as to, I know a lot of guys out there were tinkering with cars in high school, and you know, more than anything, I can say I'm fortunate to still, you know, to have walked away from that. I want to hear some of your stories out there. I can't be the only dumbass out there who did, you know, something that catastrophically idiotic, just not knowing much about how things worked. Make me feel better. I'd like to hear your stories. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is a great car. I might just drive this home tonight and reminisce a bit. But thanks for watching, and if you're interested in a Camaro, this is a good one. Check it out.